something tragic happened to me the other day. I've been trying to get my office set up slightly better for streaming. Just kind of move things around, getting some new gear, some new equipment. And the microphone that I have used to record all sorts of things for the past, 15 years, just died. I just, turned it on, tried to record some test stuff on my computer, and it sounded like ass. It was crunchy, it was garbled, and no matter what I did, nothing changed. This is a microphone, like I said, I've had it for like 15 years. It was a graduation present from my dad. He's a musician, so he got me like a studio quality microphone. I used to do music recording, like indie recording kind of stuff with my friends. And so I used this microphone for everything, like for years. It was an AKG. I'm looking at it right now. It's a, what is it? What do we got here? The AKG Perception. So just a nice, I think they're called like cardioid mics. They have like the front-facing microphone, and they're good for recording vocal stuff. So singing, voice acting, stuff like that. Commentary perhaps for Elden Ring invasions, like you're seeing right now in front of you. And so that is a long-winded way of saying that I have a new microphone, and so this might sound a little bit different. Maybe not to you, but I'm an insane stickler for audio quality. Like, if something doesn't sound good enough to me, like something that I'm making, it drives me absolutely insane. So this is a new microphone that I got, just a little USB microphone, right? And we're just testing it out. We're trying to see, what kind of audio quality we can get out of this thing, because I don't need to be doing anything fancy. This isn't my Bloody Valentine. We're not spending $100,000 to record an album in my house. This is Elden Ring Invasions, right? This is what you come for. And we're using the Gut Sword. We're using the Guts build. We're going to send this guy on a little trip. Look at that. That was a fun one. That was a fun one that we saw on stream. I rag on people for having like Guts builds and for doing Guts cosplay stuff. I don't really know why. Like, it's fine. Berserk is a great comic. It's a great story. Like, you should read it if you haven't read it. I'm currently reading through it. I just started the Golden Age arc. But you see it so often that it gets kind of annoying, and it's fun to just sort of rag on it. But like Ultra Greatsword movesets are really fun, actually. And this is something that I was doing on stream a couple of days ago. These are some clips, we're just throwing some stuff up, waiting for Shadow of the Erd Tree to drop. And it is this play style of using an Ultra Greatsword, like the Gut Sword, is a lot more like agile than I think a lot of people realize. You have crouch pokes, you have jump attacks, you can switch between like one-handed and two-handed. There's tons of different Ashes of War that you can use. And I think what gets annoying about seeing these is that people tend to just play it in the same way, and they don't appreciate like how quick you can actually be with one of these swords. You don't have to just stand in place and hit R1 over and over again, You can actually like roll catch people, you can catch people off guard, because you have a very long weapon at your disposal that does have some pretty quick attacks at the end of the day, and it gives you poise. Like hyper armor poise, essentially. So when you're mid-swing on an attack, it's very, very hard for people to interrupt you. So it is a pretty versatile weapon, right? Maybe I'm a little too harsh on it sometimes as like a meme weapon, or as one that like you just see people use all the time. But again, with like, this is Elden Ring, right? People use the same weapons over and over again because they're good weapons. Because they do a lot of damage, they have varied, diverse move sets. They're good for a lot of different situations. This is not a Greatsword invasion, but this is one that I thought was kind of fun. We're in the consecrated snowfield, and I always forget that you have these like ghostly dragonkin guys up here. And I don't really know what like the lore situation is with them, but it's cool to see them, and it's fun when they show up in invasions too. I guess the theme of this video is me getting help in invasions, right? The first one we had a co-invader who actually was like a good co-invader, which is more rare than you might think. A lot of times when you get a co-invader, they're trying to do like honor duels or something like that, or they will they'll fight you because they want to have the invasion to themselves, or they are just, spamming a bunch of attacks that end up hitting you. Because if you're co-invading with somebody, friendly fire is turned on. That's another advantage that co-opers have against invaders, is that co-opers can't hit each other. They can't hurt each other with their attacks, but invaders can. And so if you're not focusing on different people, like, that's what you should be doing. If you're trying to be like a good co-invader, and like, you whatever, you don't have to listen to me. You can betray the other red if you want to. You can do an honor duel if you want to. You can just stand by and wait for them to die, and then you start your invasion. Do whatever you want. It's a free country. But if you want to kind of have like a co-op invasion moment, what you should do is target someone who the other invader is not fighting. Don't go in there and fight the exact same person, right? Because then you're giving the co-op person some room to breathe. Really what you want to do is kind of divide and conquer. So if they're fighting the host, you go fight the co-opper. If they're fighting the co-opper, you fight the host, basically. Not too hard to figure out. But yeah, it's fun to see that every now and then. It's kind of rare. Most of the time when you get a co-invader, like I said, it's people doing duels. They have the Taunter's Tongue turned on, so they're getting multiple invaders, and sometimes those invaders just aren't that interested in, like, actually fighting and actually doing an invasion. But this is our quality builds that we're taking into Shadow of the Erd Tree. So this is, look at this, by the way. This has happened a couple of times, and I don't exactly know what it is. It might be something with my connection, but there have been a few times where I break a person's guard and get a critical hit, but it doesn't do any damage to them. It's got to be something with, like, the animations overlapping and the damage just not registering because of latency or something like that. If you parry somebody, you pretty reliably can get that critical hit off on them. But if you break their stance with a projectile, like Stone of Garank, I think is the one that I tossed at him, that one can break people's guards super easy. You might not get the critical hit in, even if the animation plays. So here, like, I get the parry, you get the critical hit, it's no problem. But sometimes if you break people's guard the other way, I think it really does depend on your latency. I've improved my internet access recently. I have seen, like, a definite improvement in my invasions since I installed a little power line setup in my house, and all the network engineers who watch, if there are any, are probably screaming at me right now. It's not optimal, infomercial. You're just sending a bunch of noise over your house's electrical, electrical circuits. I don't know how electricity works. It works for me, My office doesn't have, like, a coax input. Like, I can't put a router in here, and I'm not going to run, like, 100-foot Cat5 cable through my house, because I have a wife who has taste in decor, and she restrains me from making our house look just like an ugly mess. So this is what we're doing, and it works. It works pretty well, I gotta say. This was a really fun invasion right here, because me and the host were basically just stacking the exact same things, and we both had colossal weapons, and so it just kind of turns into, like, well, who's got more poise, And I'm guessing in this situation, it's me. If you have, like, the infinite poise crystal tier, and you're swinging a colossal weapon, there's not much people can do at that point. It's kind of over for them. You can just sort of stand in place and go for it. I don't know what else there is to say. This is the Guts sword, right? I'm Guts. I'm Berserk Man. It's me. It's the meme anime boy. It's the dark and twisted anti-hero man with the big ol' sword. And we're just doing it. And we're gonna go down here because, I don't want to have to deal with this guy and his dragon breath. How much do you want to bet we're gonna get more dragon incantations and even more breath and even more rot and even more madness in the DLC? I'm guessing that's what's gonna happen. I can't wait, because look at this. Get that weak sauce out of here. Who do you think you are? Who do you think you are? Carrying around your jar of hearts with your rivers of blood and your dragon head things. I don't appreciate it. I don't appreciate it at all. Alright, that's everything I got. Excited for Shadow of the Erd Tree. I'll see you in a couple days.